Hey! What you are looking at are the rice fields in Sri Lanka. The interesting fact is these fields run miles and miles across villages, and from what I have observed, all these are connected to each other paddy fields. So the interesting fact is, over in the distance where those bushes are, there's some sort of a water stream running. So probably these are at least a couple of thousand years old streams. So back in the days when these kings or whoever the person who masterminded these paddy fields and the water canals and all that, they have done an awesome job, because on one side it's the village itself. So behind those bushes there's a village, and onto the other side there's another village, and this water stream runs through and through all these fields. So let me show you a bit of what's around here. And now I'm standing on a place called, so in Sri Lanka we call this place a kamatha. Why you have a kamatha is, when you have rice coming out of these fields, they will bring those rice into this area here. And then back in the days, before the machinery came in, how they did take the rice, they ran like bullocks or cows. I'll try to find a photo of how they do it. So this is where they did that, which is called once again a kamatha in Sri Lanka. So this field is in the middle of a huge paddy fields, right? So over here it's very relaxed, and I think you can feel the ambience or how the environment is. It's windy, it's relaxed, and there aren't any vehicles around here, which is awesome. And then this tree is a cashew tree. If you have tried cashew nuts come from this tree. That's an interesting thing. So these are some rocks. So there should have been another rock, third rock. What most people would do is, after they have collected all the rice out of these rice bushes, they will cook their meals here, they'll relax, they'll enjoy their time and all that. So this is how they did it in the ancient times. And so this is the month of October, the year is 2020. You know, the COVID is pretty messed, and it's at its climax, so I would say it's at its peak. So the things are bad. You can't be going to a lot of places because there are infected people finding in most of the towns. But over here it's the rice season, so they just planted these tiny rice plants. They usually, the way they do it is they just spray the rice into the ground once they have prepared the land. You can see they have made small canals over here, so the water will flow through easily, and then they'll just throw the rice away into this prepared land. And then I believe this rice is about 5 days old. So in 3 to 4 months, mostly it will be 3.5 months, sometimes it could be 4 months, these will be ready to harvest. So what I'm trying on doing is, or thinking of doing is, maybe I'll try to capture like every weekly updates of how this rice is going to grow into the actual rice, and then you might be able to get an idea on how rice will come into life and then into your plates. So there's a huge process, a lot of sweat, effort, a lot of things are put into getting rice from ground to your plates. So there's another thing to consider. Don't waste things. So this is how it's going to be. I'll keep my recording later on towards all these faraway fields, so you get an idea how big these fields are. And one important thing, so even though this looks like a single field of rice, this is owned by multiple people. So maybe 3 or 4 of these blocks would be owned by a person in the village, and then the next few others would be owned by some other. So it goes on like that. So most of the time in villages, most people would have a few blocks of rice, So it could be in acres, could be half an acre, 1 acre, 2 acre. It goes on depending on how they have improved the rice fields, right? You know how it works. Yeah, so this is how it is. I'm enjoying the view. It's 4:30. So previously I was further away in those areas where these trees are, but now I'm in this particular area. So this area, the paddy fields are slightly drier because maybe this rice is about a week old, so you don't need much water as you need in the initial stages. And then you can see how calm and quiet. There's someone operating a machine. That's what that machine, the sound that you hear in the background. And then let me show you a bit around. Yeah, there are like a bunch of parrots flying around. What they usually do is they will sit on the rice fields and try to eat the seeds they have just laid on the ground, which is not a good thing for the people or for the farmers. And then over to this side is an island in the middle of these rice fields, and then you can see a number of coconut trees, or in your words it could be palm trees, but these are coconut. And then they have like banana, manioc or tapioca growing over there, and then there's a cashew tree as well, and some local trees in between. I'm bringing you like a closer look of this farm over here. We can call this a farm because it's not they're not growing rice. So there's a bit of chili over here. They're growing some chili, and then over in the distance it's tapioca, where you got those roots, and then you can boil it or you can make chips with it. And then over here there are some banana trees. So those who have seen banana, this is a banana tree, and some other vegetables as well. I can see from here there's like some eggplants, and then some flowers and things like that. And then this is another type of a palm tree, this tall one over here. This brings fruits in some times of the year, but not now. And then over here there's a small water stream running through these paddy fields. You can see how clear the water is. Let's zoom in a bit, and then it just runs through like this. So I'm chasing these parrots, and there are like quite a number of these. So technically there should be someone in the paddy fields to like chase these parrots away, because they are supposed to damage rice. So the parrots should be eating fruits or other things and not the rice plants. Let's see what they are doing. So let's go closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 parrots. It could be 13. So this is quite a bigger flock of parrots, right? Yeah. And then over in the distance I can see those white color birds. I forgot the English name for these birds, but in Sri Lanka we call them koka. So now you know the traditional or the Sri Lankan word for these birds, but I'll try to find the equivalent English name so you would recognize these birds, right? And then about these paddy fields, as you can as you can see, so each of these paddy fields are separated by this little pathway, and this is more like a maze. It runs through all these paddy fields, and then most of the time if you want to walk across these fields, there's a nice shadow. This is what you will be using, and there are like junctions, so you can go there you can go there. And then did you notice the interesting looking shapes in these paddy fields? So this is actually to help the water stream. You can see the number of birds in those paddy fields. Usually they will not harm the crop. They are just looking for worms and all sort of animals, insects. So that is a bigger flock of birds. And then on the distance you can see someone driving a motorbike through the paddy fields, which is a nice thing to see. And then, so these are simple things, but these are nice to see and calm, and you don't see a lot of vehicles.